Hey guys, I'm Jessi Kneeland of Remodel Fitness, and this is part of my video series called Ask Jessi Kneeland. So we have a question from Brittany today. She writes, why do we sometimes choose to date or love people who are wrong for us, i.e. don't treat us right or don't give us what we need? Do you think it's associated with self-esteem or thinking we can change that person or that they have something to teach us? Is it even worth asking these questions, or should we just accept that if it doesn't work out, it's nothing personal? All right, Brittany, I chose this question because it is so epic. It has so many layers and so much of it is context dependent. But my answer is that it's all of those things because truthfully, it absolutely does have to do with self-esteem. If you believe that you're worth loving by somebody who's amazing, then you're going to let somebody who's amazing love you. If you do not believe that you're worth loving by somebody who's amazing, then you're going to choose somebody who's a lot less amazing, whose love you can receive. So yeah, self-esteem is definitely a part of it. And then the idea of changing people is definitely a part of it because I think very often, and I don't see it as particularly manipulative or malevolent. It's just, yeah, we meet someone and we think like, God, they'd be so perfect if only, whatever. And so in a lot of ways, I think it comes from a really sweet and optimistic, hopeful place that we try to change people because we're all walking around hoping that we meet the person who gives us this feeling of completeness and rightness that we've been taught being in a couple is supposed to do. So when they give us a feeling of like just being a regular person that you really like, we don't really know what to do with that information. We've been taught to change people and to expect them to be something, everything, that a partnership is supposed to be. So yeah, we do try to change people as well. And lastly, when you asked if there's something to teach us, I think that's very true because in everything there's something to teach us. In everyone that we meet, there's something to be learned or gained. I typically like to think of that as something that you do in the aftermath, in the processing after, rather than in the middle of it. If somebody is treating you poorly, I don't think that's quite the right time to be going, what am I learning from this? What am I gaining? I think that's the time to be going, what do I want? And is this it? But absolutely, everyone teaches us something. I don't know that having learned a lesson is necessarily a good reason for partnering with someone or loving someone, but it definitely is a part of how we store those narratives. And there's always a lesson or a gift in everyone. I believe that. And lastly, you said, if it doesn't work out, is it nothing personal? Should we just accept that? And I believe that too. Yeah, it is nothing personal. I mean, it's like the most personal thing. Being loved and loving is the most personal thing that we have. But on the other hand, we're all just doing the best we can. If one person stops loving us, that's not because we're unlovable or that we are undeserving of love. I think the bigger issue, and the one that I wanted to talk about, is that we're not taught how to truly love someone and how to truly receive love. And that is a big reason why so much of the loving the wrong person and the being treated poorly in partnerships happens, I think, because we're just taught, storybook fairy tales that if you love someone and they love you, that it is just all going to be easy. It's all going to work out. And you're not going to have to put too much work into it because you get happily ever after. And happily ever after is your reward for having found the person that you get to love. And I don't think that's true at all. Not even remotely true. First of all, there's so many people you could love. I think that we could all be happy in various partnerships but it has to align with what we are wanting at that time, with what we want to do with our days, with what we crave from a relationship, with all kinds of our desires at different phases in our lives. And when you commit to someone for good, you have to communicate those things and say, hey, before I wanted this one thing, but now I don't really need that anymore, but I do want this other thing. And you got to work your way with the person that you're partnered with to get there, to get your needs met. The myth of storybook love is incredibly damaging to the fact that, or to our skill, I should say, as partners. I think we're never taught how to be good partners. And I mean that in both ways. We're not taught how to receive somebody's goodness, and we're not taught how to bring out goodness within them. We just give them what we think they want. That's one way. And of course, that's like, unless you're a mind reader, probably not a super effective way. But also, if you do it that way, then you don't get what you want. You don't get your needs met because you are trying to give because you love this person. I think the love is pure. The love is beautiful. The issue is in how we show it, how we receive it, how we communicate, how we even just approach it in general. We're very often taught that love will heal us or make us whole or complete us or any number of things that are not particularly reasonable. Sometimes it happens. But in general, if that's what you're searching for while you're looking for people to love, then you will find close enough to what you want, and then it will feel like a disappointment because it can't quite be what you're looking for. So I'd say the answer is to get really clear on what you are looking for. Really, what do you want? And who are you? These are things that in a partnership, like, you need to know these things if you want to bring out the best in somebody else and have them actually able to access the best in you. You need to know the best in you. You need to know who you are. You need to know what you crave most. You need to know what you need in order to show up as your best self. And you need to know how to communicate those things, because now it's not just you in your own head. Now there's another person, and you're trying to blend your day, your week, your life together somehow, and you need access to who you are and what you most want and need. You need to know those things and how to share them in a way that it holds space for somebody else. So if somebody comes to you and is like, I need a lot of alone time, I can't be with you every minute, that could come off as really hurtful and painful, and they might actually make you feel unloved and even unlovable, depending on how they do it. Or they could say the exact same thing with holding space for who you are and what you need, and it could make you feel the most respected, the most loved, the most lovable of anything that anyone's ever said to you. So it really, really depends on how you are communicating and what you're communicating, but also like how you hold space for the other person to journey with you. So if someone is treating you badly, that person might just suck. Who knows? They might just suck for you. Who knows? But I would venture a guess to say that the patterns we create when we meet people are very hard to unlearn. They're very hard to unlearn together. And that if you are looking for someone to love you properly and give you everything that you want, then you need to learn beforehand who you are and what you want, and also how to communicate that with somebody. And how to communicate it without bringing out the insecurities and the fears that we all have as people, because we inherently somehow all feel like maybe no one loves us and maybe no one could ever love us. And those are things that circulate in the backs of every single person's mind at different points and because of different triggers. So if you want to love somebody and be loved and get all your needs met, then you need to learn how to have conversations that actually allow you both to go to that place while holding space for the other one. That's it.